Welcome back to the Marathon Mortgage Happy Hour. I'm Mike Witzak.
I am Rory Farrell, and we have some special guests here.
Yeah, so guys, please go ahead and... Well, actually, this guy has been here before, but we have a very special guest. So go ahead and introduce yourself, both of you.
But Ronan, bring yourself closer.
There we go. I'm Ronan Higgins with Keller Williams Real Estate.
You can take it with you.
There we go.
There you go. Yeah.
I'm his very much older brother, Tom Higgins.
Better looking older brother.
Yeah, way better looking.
I love this.
Very arguable.
I love this already. Also of Keller Williams.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, cool. Well, thank you guys for coming in. We got a repeat guest.
Yes, sir.
Love it. Only one of two repeat guests. I
Well, it's
believe?
funny. So I was just explaining to him, Tom Hendel was our first ever guest on the podcast, and then Ronan was our second guest on the podcast.
Oh, funny. We're just recycling
And then
people.
we're just recycling them as the year goes on.
Ran out of people.
Yeah. So we're like, oh, shit, who do we get on now? No. So I've been wanting to have your father on, Tom, here for a while.
Older brother.
Yeah, older brother. Sorry. Yes. Sorry.
This is obviously the older side of the podcast over here.
10 people were felt for that.
Yeah.
Gradually going up. But Mike has a year on me, actually, I think.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
swap positions.
And
Yeah.
Tom's got about a year on me. So
Year and a half.
Yeah.
this is the dynamic between me and Mike because we tend to have the same maturity level, but he is 15 years younger than me.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, pal. Yeah.
So there's always the old man jokes going back and forth.
Yeah. But what are we drinking, Rory?
Well,
Talk to me.
Hey guys, this is cool new local beer, Guinness. There's a reason we have Guinness, and we'll probably get into it a little bit. And you might even hear from the accent already, but classic Irish dark draft lager or stout. So 4.1% from St. James Gate in Dublin. Anyone been there?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, Mike.
No.
Of
I've
course.
never been to Ireland.
It's
ever,
a great.
yeah. I would love to go.
It's the best.
You're the guy.
Yeah.
We keep telling I have a 6-year-old and a 3-year-old. They don't have any concept of what Ireland is. I'm like, we're going to take you to Ireland. And now they're like, when are we going to Ireland? I can't wait to go to Ireland. Like, they don't even know what Ireland is other than a vacation.
Yeah.
It's a concept.
Yeah, but it
Keep
is.
the Guinness away from them, but
Yeah, that's fine. They're getting there, right?
Again.
Getting there in the pub. So,
Yeah.
we've had a couple draft nitro cans in the studio before. Supposed to.
It's not how you're supposed to pour, though.
I know, but it's hard.
I know.
Little
Really hard in
glasses.
that shaped glass.
There you
as
go.
long as it's poured into a glass, you can't drink a Guinness from a can.
Now you can do like more
It's number one
vertically.
rule.
I thought it was
gotta-
cognac. Is this not cognac?
Cognac. Yeah.
Thought it
It's
was.
Hennessy, actually.
Pour it aggressively. Go ahead, Ronan. Pass down those glasses,
Poured
please.
aggressively. By the way, this is the only thing older than me in this room.
Thank you, sir.
Yep.
And then I brought up a black and tan to Mike the other day, which I'm sure isn't a real thing in Ireland. But he's like, a what?
Yeah.
What is that? And then what's a cider in Guinness? Is it a snake bite? Well, that might be an American thing.
I think that's an American thing.
Yeah.
We have Bulmers or Magners cider. and
Magners,
they're
yeah.
Big ones.
All right.
Nice.
Bulmers was like 1935 or something. Very old.
Damn.
I think they invented cider. Bulmers.
Really?
There you go. So for a lot of people think that this is high in calories, high alcohol, but at 4.1%, I think it's pretty low in
I
calories
think it's like
compared
90
to.
calories or 100.
Yeah, so it's carefree drinking. So cheers, guys. Thank you for
Cheers.
coming in.
Sláinte, as we say in
Sláinte.
Ireland.
Lancia.
Sláinte.
I have this
To your
Italian
health.
friend who actually shout out Tara Bevavino. We were in Ireland for a wedding. Our good friends got married in the Wicklow Mountains, and she's Tara Bevavino. You may know her.
I know Tara,
Yep. Obviously Italian. So we were all saying cilantro, cilantro. She's like cilantro, cilantro, and she just could not get it.
My Italian ass thought the same thing, dude. I was like,
Shout out to
cilantro?
Tara.
Everyone
She'll-
butchers cilantro.
She'll remember that story. so.
Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce are in Wicklow right now.
Oh yeah,
For her
yeah,
concert,
beautiful.
yeah.
We did a bunch of hiking down there. It's just, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Damn, yeah, Taylor, if you need a house, you know who to call here.
You know what to call.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I guess, so tell us a little bit more about yourself, how you kind of got into the industry. I mean, we obviously know that Ronan told us before he got into it because of you and seeing what you were doing, but how did you all get started in the business? I know you weren't born in America, so when you came here, was like being a real estate agent a job to you? Like, how that all happened?
So I got it. I worked in a bank in Philly when I first came, and then graduated to the mortgage department there for a little bit. Got my real estate license at the same time, and then said, I might like this better than the mortgage end. So I jumped into real estate that time and worked for a company, Dager and Springhouse, for 10 years, who are no longer in business. But that's where I met Bob Rubin and Tom and Marathon Mortgage that time. So that was, I'm sure, 30 years ago. How long is the company going?
25, 28.
No, it's more. It's like
Oh, yeah,
28.
'cause
It was
we did our
94.
25th celebration.
Yeah.
27 years.
94 and 96, I think they
Right,
started.
right.
So,
That's great. That's great. Yeah.
right around the same time as when they started.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
crazy.
Amazing. Yeah. Yeah. So
That's it. That's how you
my
got started.
origin.
Interesting.
Yeah, then went to Remax for a while, then went to Berkshire Hathaway, Fox and Roach for a while, and now at Keller Williams.
No, Keller Williams.
Around. I'm
Nice.
very, very, very loyal.
Yeah.
Well, it seems like that's kind of the industry standard is people kind of bounce around, and as they get more experience, they move to different brokerages. Because maybe you don't need as much support, or maybe
Correct.
you don't need to be in a physical office, or
Yeah.
whatever the case is.
Yeah.
So
I stayed 10 years and then they kicked me out.
Yeah.
that's your tenure, and they're like, no.
Correct. Yeah.
You're actually the second guest in a row that we had, and prior to that, I don't think we had anybody who has mortgage experience. And
Yeah.
it's an interesting dichotomy I think it's very important to have that, or at least, a general knowledge of that, because a lot of people, especially first-time homebuyers, don't know what a mortgage even is, or how to get it, or what the questions to ask, and they always come to realtors first.
Yeah, correct.
So if you guys are kind of like deer in headlights and have no idea, then it kind of like, it doesn't reflect as well on you, even though it's not your job to know all that stuff.
Yeah.
It's your job to.
But I know
refer
enough
us.
to be dangerous, and I know enough to refer to you guys.
Yeah, you can give them the basics, you
Yeah.
can speak intelligently on it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Kind of guide them down that path. Yeah.
Stay
and
in our lane. That's what I tell Ronan. Stay in your lane.
That's it. Yeah, no, I think that's a big help too when realtors do stay in their lane, because I've had a realtor. I just actually had a realtor give like an estimate out to somebody.
Oh, yeah.
And then the person was mad at me because the appraisal was more money than what the realtor was estimating. And I'm like, the realtor was telling them the appraisal was $300, $400. And I'm like, that's not what they are. That's not what, like, call me. If you have a question about this stuff, call me. So it helps when realtors know enough to get them started, but like when they hand them off and they're like, hey, look, if you need estimates or questions about money, call them.
Yeah, that's my favorite thing, to defer to you guys, so I don't have to.
Yeah, exactly.
Actually, talk to Mike. Actually, I'll give you his number.
Yeah. So, and then one other thing I wanted to bring up and kind of talk about too is obviously we're on social media a lot. We do a lot of these podcasts and videos, and so are you guys now. You're really getting into it, but you guys do really, I think, funny and cool content, and it's interesting. So like, who's the brains behind all that, and then who's the brawn behind all of it? I guess.
He's the brains and the brawn.
Okay.
Both, I would say.
I like to say my dad's a pretty good prop for certain things, because but one thing I'll give you is you're open to anything.
I was going to say that,
Which I
yeah.
appreciate, but I'm definitely the idea guy when it comes to the videos and the marketing, I would say. But we complement each other well and kind of bounce ideas off a lot of times, I would say.
I mean, even just yesterday, we got Tom must be signed up for your email marketing list.
Oh, yeah.
I'm
Newsletter.
not, but Tom is. So
Are
then
you
Tom,
not?
Tom like forwards me these emails, and then yesterday I get an email in my inbox, and it's just Ronan and his dad hanging out by the pool. Were you guys in your swim trunks eating popsicles? Is that what it was?
Yeah, so we send out a monthly newsletter, which has gotten some good buzz recently, but we try to have some kind of cover image or funny thing to start it off. So
They
it's
call
some
that clickbait, is what they call it.
clickbait. Exactly. We are definitely guilty of that.
And talk about the props that we had. It was not even popsicles. It was a cake pop.
We
didn't have a popsicle handy.
I was the watering. I had a garden hose out back, and then we were just dressed in tank tops and bathing suits to keep it summer themed and keep it light.
yeah.
You know?
I'll have to get
Mike's
on
not impressed anymore.
I love it.
No, I got to get on that, because I mean,
love it.
we all just get inundated with so much stuff: emails, text, Instagram,
Yeah.
TikTok. Like, it's hard to catch somebody's eye. So,
Yeah.
and
We might-
half that stuff I just delete. But
We
if you
should probably
get
steal
someone
that.
to look at it, you're like, oh, okay, cool.
And that's the thing, is it needs to initially be interesting, or else no one's gonna look at it. And the amount of people that are like, yeah, the only reason I like your videos and watch your videos is because 90% of content you get from realtors or mortgage people or whatever is just the same kind
Yeah, it's
of
regurgitated.
message over and over again. So you gotta have it goofy and funny. Yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. We should probably steal that idea. Do some monthly email marketing, but like actually put work into it instead of letting the CRM just do it.
Well, it's funny because like it almost doesn't even matter what the content past that clickbait is. It's like the point of sending it out is like, hey, stay on their mind, be in front of them. So as long as that pops up and it's just you guys in tank tops, they may not even read the rest of it, but they remember, oh, these two realtors, that I get monthly are hilarious and I want to work with them. And you just get to know you guys a little bit, because it's, working with a realtor is way more beyond like the experience or like, the negotiation act is like, you guys got to get along. You spend a lot of time together, especially from a buyer agent standpoint. It's like you're spending nights, weekends,
2 months.
trips out to
Too much
Chester
time.
County.
Yeah, trips to Ireland. We're stuck together too.
Yeah. It's almost like this guy's your dad or something, dude. He doesn't go away. No, but you're just, and I mean, even speaking about that, aren't you just coming from an appointment right now?
Yeah.
You came from, yeah, exactly. So you guys are just constantly moving. Now, one thing I wanted to ask is we don't get many people who have as many years of experience as you on the show too often. I mean, I don't think who else do we have that has that much time in the business, really, that's been on the
They're
show?
all dead.
Yeah.
It's a polite way of saying you're old.
But it's like,
Have some respect for your elders over here.
I'm trying, dude. Yeah. But in all seriousness, like, how have you seen since you? I mean, how old were you when you started? What age were
A
you?
little younger than Ronan, probably 22, 21, 22, yeah.
And you're 30 now, so a couple years. But in all seriousness, what has changed since you've been in the business? Obviously, a lot has changed, but this is something that you've been able to kind of adapt to and grow with.
Everything has changed and everything's the same.
Yeah.
It's amazing because I always say it, 30 years later, the method, the vehicle of getting us to and fro and there, that's all changed, but the outcome's the same. The number of days on market is the same. All that stuff, it's the cycle of life. It's a cycle of real estate. It's a circle of life.
Interesting.
It's all that, and it's amazing to me how the numbers are still kind of the same. I don't know. It's unbelievable. Put it like this: when the interest rates fluctuate the way they've done, that brings us back to the whatever period of time I've experienced at that point in time.
Yeah,
When the
yeah.
interest rates have done that, up or down or whatever it is.
Yep.
That's what we come back to. So everything's kind of the same. They're not looking at the newspaper. They're not looking at want ads. They're not even looking at the signs anymore. They're online doing everything. That's the big shift. That's the big change that way. But other than that, the time doesn't change. The result doesn't change.
Yep.
But the vehicle on the way from A to B and that journey, that's different.
That's different. Interesting. Yeah. And how do you feel like, is this market different than other markets you've experienced, or I feel like you're kind of somebody that doesn't care much about the market. You're just going to push through it either way. But
Yeah, we're getting back to a market that's more familiar because we had 2 years after the pandemic that were bananas, and they were like nothing I'd ever seen. That's different. But since then, it's predictable.
it's predictable. It's getting back to where you think it needs to be.
I think it is.
Nice. Yeah.
I think it's getting predictable. Yes.
Solid.
Yeah.
And your guys' industry is very similar to ours in that, like, at the core of it, it is a people industry.
Yeah.
So you have to have good customer service to have the longevity, right? Like, you can have a couple good pops or whatever if you're just doing things to get the bottom line up. But at the end of the day, it's customer service, it's communication, it's organization, efficiency, like those things. No matter any whatever vehicle you're using, whether it's technology or flyers or whatever, it's at the end of the day, you're not going to have repeat business and referrals if you're not doing the right things for the people involved in it. So we find that all the time. It's like I think in the grand scheme of things, even though we have a podcast and the Instagram and all that, it's like we're a more old school lender than new school, I would say.
Yes.
Right.
We're getting there.
We're getting there.
We've traveled.
We're trying to
lot
push it a
farther.
little bit, but there's a reason why some of those old school things work. And it's like you still got to do those basic things to make sure that you are, being accurate with your estimates and watching dates and the things that are the core of this industry.
Yeah, the things that matter really when it comes to. I mean, we talked about this before. How about your dad has a lot of, I guess, not easier clients, but clients that call him and they have good money and good credit, and then we have clients that call us and they're like, yeah, my credit's like not great at all, and then you're like trying to build that, but it's just staying in touch. I mean, we've had a mutual client that you've been in touch with for the past year now or so, like the investor, that has just been like, trying to get approved and do that. And it's different for us at our point in career, at our time in this career than it is for you where you're at. But I think everybody's been through that though, to get to where they are now,
Yeah.
So it's crazy.
You treat people right. The golden rule, right? Treat as you'd like to be treated yourself. You do that, and it's your database, and you grow the database, and I think everything else flows out of that.
That's it. Yeah, I agree.
You're going to have, and so important for anyone who's looking to get into either one of these industries, it's going to be a roller coaster.
Yeah.
No matter what. Like Tom always says, our boss is like, listen, don't look at it month to month or week to week or even like quarter to quarter. It's like, look at your year. Okay. Right. Because you're going to have, like, I just had a killer May. June's a little quiet, but you combine the two, even on like a more micro level of looking at it, like, all right,
That's right.
average, I had a pretty good couple months, and then you look at the year and extrapolate it over the career, and it's like you just got to be able to weather the lows and enjoy the highs and sock your money away on those low years.
Yeah.
Slow and steady wins the race. It's absolutely true.
Especially when it ebbs and flows so much in terms of what month it is, and for instance, around Christmas time or even around this time when a lot of people are going on vacation. So.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It quiets down a lot, especially before the 4th or Memorial Day or Christmas. Yeah, everything gets silent for a little bit.
But if you're talking to realtors that are in the business or mortgage people that are in the business, I think that analogy you spoke of the roller coaster, the only people that get hurt in a roller coaster are the ones that jump off. Right, stay on it.
I like that.
The ups and downs, ride through them, and you get there at the end and you're fine.
Write that down.
No shit. That's a good one. That's a good
for
one.
a couple of weeks was trying to do quotes at the end. So
Yeah, I was trying to do quotes at the end, and then I lost steam real quick. It was like 3 episodes, and I'm like, I don't have a quote, dude. We got to just move on.
that was our quote for this episode.
Yes.
Yeah.
Clip it.
But there was an incident where a roller coaster got stuck upside down last week. Did you guys see that?
Yeah, they were upside down for like a long time.
I forget where it was, but I don't think they got hurt though. I think they were just scared.
You hang on there.
Scared to death. Yeah.
Literally.
A little brain damage from all the blood rushing to your head over 8 minutes,
A
but
bit of trauma, but it'll be okay.
That's okay. That's okay. It's better than jumping off. Yeah, I don't even. It got me thinking now. I'm like thinking of that video. That's so funny.
do you have any years or periods of years that were the most fun or the most profitable that you can remember back on, or the worst, or any?
So the most profitable was post-pandemic in the short term. The worst years were post-pandemic short term.
Yeah,
It's
you
all
worked
relative.
7 days a week, 24 hours a day. It was crazy, and so don't wish to go back to that again. It wasn't worth the money. It was,
Yeah.
So, and don't get me wrong, people were suffering and other things going on that time.
Sure.
But there was desperation all around.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody was panicking. You didn't know what was on the other side, and it wasn't fun. That was not a fun time.
Yeah.
It's crazy to me that the whole pandemic thing, like everybody has a different perspective on
Sure.
that. No matter who you ask, everybody has a different perspective.
Yeah.
Whereas like, even when I first started here, it was, when was it? 21. So it was kind of like not toward the end of the pandemic, but kind of over a big hurdle of it.
Mm-hmm.
And we were cranking out business,
Yeah.
but it was
refi.
And it was like nonsense. And I think that's why though, like I credit that time period to the knowledge and experience that I have, because I got like 20 years of information in like 7-8 months. Like it was just right in my face, and there was it was either you stick with it or you don't.
And then it was irrelevant information to know because we haven't done a refi since.
And then it's just gone. Yeah.
Just wait until refi season comes out. You're going to be bona fide,
Oh my
refi
God.
expert.
Oh my
You
God.
worked in a factory then.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's all you were doing.
You
Yeah.
do definitely learn the most in the craziest and most challenging times. Even when someone talks to me now about like what's it like getting into real estate, and it's still kind of a wild time to probably get into it, and I'm like, hey, you're going to learn a lot very quickly. So that's one plus for sure.
For sure.
And if you're coming into it in a time like this, you're cutting your teeth at the craziest, quote unquote, worst time. It's like,
Yeah.
it'll get better. And when it does, you're going to be like, oh, this is what this is supposed to be like,
Yeah.
And then
Exactly.
the roller coaster.
Cutting your teeth. I think that was the first time I heard somebody say that yesterday when Tim said that, and now you said it, and I'm like, I'm just gonna hear this
I teach
thing.
them a lot of vocabulary.
I hate those. Cutting my teeth like just bothers me when people say that. It's like saying moist.
I'm okay with moist
in
but-
here right now.
Yeah, it is a little moist.
Yeah.
Way too moist. Can you edit out perspiration?
Yeah, for sure.
How does that work?
It's like the Family Guy skit where like, you know what really grinds my gears?
Just over and over.
So I think. Do you have any other questions or anything you want to go over?
What?
Cool. Yeah. Loved it.
You kind of talked about it being the best and the worst
Speaking of
time.
editing.
No, we don't do a lot of.
We're not-
No, you just spoke about like the post pandemic being like the best and the worst. Was anything in like the early 2000s or like post 2008 and like things like that struck you as like, man, I got to get out of this industry, or were you like same thing, head down, just keep moving?
When I started at that company, Dager, this is defunct at the minute, but they were around since 1904 and the early 90s. That time, it was all young guys working there, and we were all chatting, reading the paper every day. Computers were I can literally see them walking in the door. Here's the computer. This is going to be down over here. It's going to be in this room. Wow. And we would come in every day and we would look, they want ads. What am I going to do? We can't keep doing this anymore. There's nothing going on. The market was bad. We didn't know what we were doing.
Wow.
And we're like, what are we going to do? We have to, there's a job over here. We're moving. Company needs somebody on Saturday at 5 a.m. Can we be the,
Wow.
That's what we were doing back that time. And you know what? I don't miss it at all, but I wouldn't I wouldn't not have liked it to have happened.
Yeah.
I learned so much by it.
Yeah.
It meant so much, and I'm still friends with those same guys. They're all in myriad different companies all over the place. But we had great times, good people. They're still my best friends around. You know, they're good people to work with, and no, I would not. And it was a hard time, but you're living through it. You don't know. And everybody was having a hard time that time. Things weren't good. So, you know, and then after 9/11, that was a very short-lived thing. That was about 6 months, but it was a crazy bad 6 months. We didn't know what was happening. The country didn't know what was happening. The stock market was falling off a cliff, and so there were bad times like that. But we always bounced back. The pandemic came, we bounced back stronger than ever, and so I think it gives you confidence that you can go on and you can do more and you can weather this stuff that's going to happen. Because guess what? It's going to happen. Something's going to happen.
Yep.
When you're in the business somebody said that to me years ago. If you're in the business long enough, you're probably going to get sued. Something's going to happen. Weird things are going to happen. And if you're not sued, maybe you're not doing enough business.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Where's the fine line between doing enough business and not going to court? I want to be right there in that sweet spot.
yeah. Not that I spend any time in court, but I'm telling you,
Pay lawyers for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Ronan, I'm going to put you on the spot here.
Go for it.
I won't go con. Biggest pro of working with your father.
That's a good question.
Biggest
Because I'll preface this by saying I got into this business with my father. I don't know if you remember Dan Strockbine, who worked here as a loan officer and processor, but he retired
I didn't know that was your father.
a year and a half ago. Yeah. I'll tell you that story off air why he's a Strockbine and I'm a Farrell.
Yeah.
It had something to do with the Irish names sounding better than the Strockbine last name. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, it was a great experience for me, and it got me into this industry, and kind of taught me a lot. So I had a good experience.
Yeah, it's hard to start with the pros because there's so many cons that come to mind.
I didn't want to put you on the spot, but if you got cons, go for it.
No, the biggest pro I would say is probably being able to just have my perfect mentor and resource also be my father, which I'm very grateful for, because obviously when you get into any industry or anything, you need a mentor. You need someone who's going to invest their time in you, who's going to care about you, because a lot of times people get trained, but you might just be getting trained because they want you to be able to produce for that company, and they're pretty much being paid to train you. Whereas he obviously has a genuine interest in my success. So a lot of times when I have any question, no matter what it's about, I can kind of go to him and we can have a conversation about it. So I think just the 24/7 resource, which I mean, I'm a little spoiled for it because a lot of times a lot of younger agents will also ask me, they're like, hey, can you ask your dad this question? Or I'm like, you can ask him as well. He's pretty approachable. But you just hear a lot of times people don't know who to ask a question to. So I'm definitely grateful that I can kind of go to him, which.
You don't feel like it'll be a dumb question, because if you're asking your boss,
Exactly.
you don't want to sound like a dummy.
Exactly. No such thing as a
Your
dumb
dad
question.
already thinks you're a dummy.
Yeah.
Exactly.
If he's anything like my dad.
I have nothing to lose. Nothing to lose.
That's another cliche. There's no such thing as a dumb question. We've challenged that a few times.
Yeah. There's for sure stupid questions.
I mean, you guys have Sunday dinners over some real estate questions, 'cause that's how my family was a little bit when we were having, like, it would always devolve into like, oh, what's going on with that file when he was working here? Like, oh, what do you think about this? But,
Yeah, right.
Yeah, sometimes the rest of the family can be like, all right, guys, we got to change the conversation here.
Would it really?
I mean, just naturally, it's
Yeah,
like, it's
just
the
start
biggest thing
talking
we have
about
in common. You spend 8-9 hours a
Yeah,
day together,
yeah,
5
true.
days a week. Now it's just all about kids, because he just watches my kids, which is great too.
My dad's just like, turn on Fox News. Turn on Fox News. I'm like, God damn. But that's my father. But you want wins, or
Yeah, I can. But why don't
why don't we ask the same question to him though? What's the biggest pro of working with your son?
My son. He has an innate ability to know the answer before he asks the question. He answers it. I mean, he asks it, I think, for validation of what because he's quick to tell me that's a dumb idea, or that's not going to work, or whatever. He's very quick to tell you that. He no filter that way, which is great because he's sharp. And as you were saying, Rory, he kind of grew up in the business. Sure. Like by osmosis, he got it. He was along for the ride. He heard the dinner conversations. He was in the back seat of showings. He was inside I have 4 kids. 3 of them would be in the back seat of showings. Ronan would be the one, but I'm coming along. Can I come along? Ronan was the one that just, he would, like, the others didn't want to be involved.
Yeah.
At 5 years old, he wanted to be in the door. He would, he was asking questions. He was hanging off. He was doing things. But, in retrospect, I look back now and it makes sense why he's in the business. even think about at the time. In fact, I love my children, so I didn't want any of them to get into real estate.
And he's the only one?
He's the only one.
The chosen one.
Is he the youngest?
No, he's the middle. He's the youngest boy.
Okay.
We have 2 school teachers,
Okay.
2 older brothers, and then my daughter's a senior at Scranton University.
Nice.
So, yeah. So,
Nice.
but no, that's.
Hey, there's still a
it's
chance that she might be in real estate.
Oh, she might, and she's been a good help this summer. Some
There you
marketing
go.
stuff.
You'll have that college tuition bill, and then she'll just go
right.
straight into real estate.
That's right. Yeah, she's sharp. She'd be good. But no, I think it's great to work with him. I like it. And funny, as you guys know from working with mortgages, the best when you're doing those refis, there's not a huge thrill maybe out of some of them, but when you deal with a first-time buyer and you get them in a house, there's a big thrill to
Yeah.
it. That
It's
feels
killer.
great. It's
The
no
best
different
feeling.
than a first-time realtor or for young person realtor. You enjoy working with those people. You enjoy maybe impacting their life sometime, taking 10 minutes out of your busy life to sit down and talk. Here's what we're going to do. I met with a young guy the other day, and we went to lunch, and he just picked my brain. I love chatting to him, love him giving me the war stories and what's going to happen and what's the worst that could happen and all the best that's going to happen to him, and almost the roller coaster analogy. I know you're going through a tough time right now. It's the whole world's a tough time right now. Get through it. When you're through it and the other people have bailed out, you'll still be there and you'll have learned so much by it. And so it's the same thing. New agents, younger agents. I enjoy working just like Ronan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy. It does sound familiar, Rory. So
I've been telling him to just get through it for the past year, and he's like, I don't want to hear it anymore. When are we through it?
Yeah, everybody. For the past 3 years, oh, don't worry, next year is gonna be different. We're gonna do so crazy. It's gonna be so busy. And I'm like, is it this year? Is it gonna be this year?
But in fairness, we're all kind of like, it's not like any of us are like, oh yeah, this is our year, and you're lagging behind. It's like we're all kind of, we all thought it was gonna be this year, next year, or whatever. And
Now
it's
you have
not.
no other options. You're in it for too long.
Quite literally.
You're getting too old, man. What are you gonna do now?
Yeah, that's how they trap you. They're like, 1 more year, and then when it's like 3 years in, they're like, yeah, you're screwed now, dude. You're here forever.
Really, we're just gonna be podcast stars, hopefully sooner or later. I don't know what's taking so long about us with all these followers.
That's the goal, to become an influencer of some sort in this industry, I guess.
Yes.
Am I the only one that feels like sweaty balls?
Yeah,
is it
it's-
from Saturday Night Live.
It
does.
Because I'm sweating and the microphones, and that was a radio show, I believe. But
Mike, pop in a clip here.
Yeah, I will.
Alec-
Sure.
And Molly Shannon.
Insert Alec Baldwin, yeah.
I guess the win you were talking about, you want to tell that, and then we'll wrap it up?
yeah, I was telling Mike off camera, I was down helping my older son. He's off for the summer being a school teacher, and he's walking dogs. So he says, can you meet me? I have a few dogs to walk in Valley Green. Can you meet me down there? It was lunchtime. I said, yeah, I'll run down and walk for half an hour. So I go down. We're all good. I'm leaving. His car's across from mine. He says, oh my God, look at your car. The window's smashed out. My back rear window's smashed out.
Here, hold on 1 second.
Yeah,
40 minutes.
Oh, is Zoom 40 minutes?
Yeah.
You gotta zoom for more than 40 minutes anyway.
Yeah. Sorry, Ronan started punching me, but we're back now. Yeah, we're good. All right, go ahead. Sorry, not to cut you off, but you're walking dogs with your older son.
Yeah, and then and you missed a lot of that rest of that story. I died. At the end. No, but I'm walking.
And then he came back to life, and he's here.
But I came back. My window smashed. The back of my car. Bag stolen out of the back, which I couldn't recall what was even in the bag, like
Good.
a backpack.
Yeah.
And wallets taken out of the console, which I never leave in there. Wallet money. Undisclosed sum of money. If the police are watching in my insurance company, the undisclosed sum of money was found. And anyway, driver's license, all that good stuff was gone, right? So there's an older gentleman walking his dog, and he says, this happens down here so many times. You wouldn't believe. I see it every day, whatever. So that was fine. I go back. I have to wait 3 hours for the police to come. They come and do my report, all that good stuff. And anyway, I'm making calls to get my glass fixed today, the auto glass people. So I'm getting that fixed today. So I'm making the calls yesterday. And I'm picking up keys in Bluebell in the evening, and I'm sitting outside the house, and I get a call from a strange number, and I'm like, I'll answer it. It's probably one of the auto glass guys. I pick up the phone, the guy says, are you Thomas Higgins? Yeah, I live in East Falls, and I found your driver's license on my front lawn. He says, I'm on whatever road this is.
Yeah.
And he said, it's a busy enough road. I bet they just threw it out the window when I tell him the whole story,
Yeah.
And he said, I bet they just threw it out the window. And I said, yeah, I'm 100% sure that's what it was. An hour later, because I found your 2 bank cards as well on my lawn, but I'd already cancelled them. But so anyway, he gives him my son, Tommy, the older one. He lives like minute away from him. And so they get connected with the driver's licenses. Oh, Good Samaritan, that's great. Today I'm getting the autoglass done this morning in Collegeville. That's done. I'm sitting there. I get another call, and the guy says, are you Thomas Higgins? Yeah, I found a backpack thrown in the woods in Valley Green. And I said, that's mine. It's in remarkably good shape. Would you like it back? I said, yeah. He dropped it to my office already.
Wow.
I didn't even get there yet.
Yeah.
I said, so many great people in the world. So that's my win. That's
beautiful.
That is
Yeah.
cool.
That's a good
There's
way.
a lot of like negative in the world, and
There
we have this conversation with my in-laws all the time because they're big news watchers.
Yes.
I'm like, guys, just think about your everyday. Like 99% of your interactions are really good. You know, and sometimes you have that 1 or 2% where they're really good.
That's right.
And it's just like just be in your own world because
Yeah.
you're gonna
Right.
have most people are nice.
Like the more and more I think about, the more and more it's like social media is genuinely just fake. It's like if you just shut your phone off and don't read any of
yeah.
that, it's like none of these things exist in your day-to-day life. But you know, whatever. We should get in some ghillie suits and sit by the parking lot with paintball guns.
Ooh.
And just wait
That sounds
for
like
people
it's
to
right
walk
up
in.
Mike's alley.
That's the next video.
That's what I was thinking.
What are you guys doing this afternoon?
Sit right on the patio of Bruno's. Have yourself a cheesesteak and just wait.
Yeah, that's a little coffee and just with a paintball gun.
That's not far from the crime scene, Bruno's.
I figured it was. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. There's yeah. Maybe next video. But nah. Yeah. That's it. Well,
Good
thanks.
people in the world. That's my point.
That's
Beautiful.
good. And I love that as a win.
And a
a
few
lot of
scumbags too. They're out there.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
But you know what I said to my older son to try and turn it around too? I said, look, I would not trade places with those guys that took the stuff they took. They had a reason for doing it. I feel bad for them. I pity them. I don't hate them. I don't despise them. I pity them because I would not want to be in their shoes and have to live like that.
It's all replaceable, right?
Exactly.
Could have been
It's
way
all
worse. Yeah.
replaceable. Yeah.
It's a good perspective for sure.
Exactly, yeah.
He was pretty pissed off, though, I can attest. Downplaying a little bit.
Yeah, well, I removed a couple letters for pissed to pity.
Yeah. Perfect. But no, yeah. Thanks so much for coming on to the both of you again,
Thanks for
Ronan,
having us.
our,
Yeah,
our
thanks for
second
coming.
return guest, our second podcast guest ever, back on the show.
Sorry it was so hot. You got your sauna session in
yeah,
now,
I
so
did,
Yeah.
go hit the
seriously.
cold plunge and you'll be fine.
Yeah. Sorry. But we're working on a fan for in here or something.
You know, Guinness should be drank at 44 degrees.
Yeah.
And so as soon as you opened it, it dropped to whatever. It rise
Right,
to whatever,
yeah,
whatever
yeah.
it was.
75 now, probably.
Yeah.
Well, stouts and porters are supposed to be drank at a higher.
Really?
Oh yeah.
That's what you said, 44 degrees. I thought that was pretty high. I was like,
No, that's kind of like standard like beer,
yeah.
fridge temperature.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're meant to. I mean, a lot in Ireland, it's the cask where it's all room temperature.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm a spirits guy.
Oh god, get out of here! You just learned what spirits were the other day.
Shit. Well, anybody else with anything? We all good? Well, first, shout your stuff out, though. Get your Instagrams out there, your everything.
Instagram, Ronan_Higgins23. TikTok, Ronan.Higgins.realtor.
Perfect.
And then Facebook is my name. You can look that up.
Awesome.
And mine is Ronan Higgins' dad at TikTok.
At
Whatever.
TikTok.
Track him down. I'm right beside him.
Tom Higgins Real Estate is his Instagram, if you care to look at that.
Perfect.
And reach out to them and get on the newsletter
Yeah.
because it's worth it.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Hell yeah.
For sure. All right.
Great.
Cool.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks for coming on, guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. That was
Thanks
fun.
again, guys.
Thanks for having us. We appreciate it.
You got it.